This happened about a year ago. I was visiting friends in the city, about an hour's train ride from where I lived. It was getting late, and the last train was going to leave in less than an hour. My friends lived about 10 minutes away from the train station by car, so I let them know I'd need a ride soon. My friend who offered to drive me earlier that day was too drunk, so he arranged for an Uber to come and get me. Normally I would just stay the night, but I was pregnant in my first trimester, and I just needed to get home to my boyfriend. We had some time, so as he's booking the first one, he sees the picture of the driver and cancels it, because the man looks creepy. The second one didn't look much better, but at least he seemed less creepy than the first one. The Uber arrives shortly after. I get in the car and he asks my name and if my friend is my boyfriend. I tell him my first name and that no, my friend isn't my boyfriend. He compliments me and I thank him. Now I must say, I know the city very well. I've lived there before and I spent a lot of time there. I know exactly how to get to the train station, and I always know the best route based upon the time. It's pretty late on a weekday, so there wasn't much traffic, and pretty much any way he took in the right direction would get me there. He puts the directions into his GPS that propped up on his dash. It tells him to make a left at the end of the street, which is what you'd have to do to get out there since it's a dead end. We started moving and he suddenly asks if cops hang out here. I felt uncomfortable, but I figure he just wants to speed a little, so I say not really. And he suddenly takes a right into a narrow alley before the left ahead. His GPS is telling him to turn around, but he's still heading in the opposite direction. I tell him this isn't the right way, and he suddenly starts listening to his GPS like it was just a mistake. He says, "I'll get you there, if you don't mind me speeding." I'm thinking, whatever just gets me to my train, so I say sure, and he immediately slams his foot on the gas and reaches speeds of 50-60 miles per hour before slamming on his brakes at the stop sign ahead. It's a residential part of the city, so the speed limit wouldn't have been anything over 25 miles per hour, with stop signs at every block. He continues to do this while following the directions for 2 blocks, when he blatantly ignores the GPS and starts heading in the opposite direction. At this point, I'm fully aware he doesn't intend to take me to my train, and I'm texting my friends telling them about the situation. They tell me to come back. It had been almost 10 minutes and we'd just gone in circles, but I'm desperate to get home. I said to him, "I'm going to be late for my train. This isn't the right way." He tells me I won't be late for my train, even though he has no idea when it's coming. Soon after, and there's a police car behind us, and he starts asking why the cops are following him. I didn't say anything, but he keeps asking me and gets louder and louder every time. I don't answer him, and eventually the cop car turns. He calms down and I notice the time. 15 minutes passed at this point, and I'm definitely not going to make this train. I tell him to take me back, but he's sure that I'll make my train. I was fed up. I got annoyed with him about the time and told him he had to take me back. He finally agreed, but only after slowing down and almost coming to a complete stop in an intersection. He probably noticed that my phone was buzzing and lighting up, so he finally took me back to my friend's house. My friends were standing at the sidewalk when I got out of the car. When I looked back to see him stopped in his car, down the street, talking to a hooded person standing on the sidewalk. My guess is he probably thought I was a tourist. I had a giant backpack and a little bag with me from the night before, and he probably thought he could take advantage of me. I reported it to Uber and the local Uber drivers page in the city, hoping this will never happen to anyone.